got about 22 years of experience coaching and training senior leaders across Asia. Also, I am a co-founder of an NGO for women empowerment. And in the recent past, I founded a networking portal for people in the development sector. So I'll start with my early life. I was born in a small town in MP. The town is called Satna, and my father was setting up a manufacturing unit there. He's an engineer from BITS, Ranchi, and he was setting up a manufacturing unit in the backward land over there, and I was born there. Within a few years, my family moved to Delhi for a short while, and then we moved to Bangalore. I would say I spent my formative years between Bangalore and Hyderabad, many more in Bangalore and less in Hyderabad, and I have lovely memories of the city while growing up. And finally, we moved in my final years of schooling to Bombay, and I've stayed in Bombay since then. I studied, I'm a BA in Sociology from Mumbai University, and I'm an All India Gold Medalist in Hotel Management. Later, I moved to coaching industry and I trained as an international protocol consultant. In fact, I was India's first trained international protocol consultant. And later on, as an executive presence coach from a couple of leading international institutes and bodies. So that is a little bit about myself. I moved cities, and I think my biggest learning has been that when you move cities, you learn to be adaptable and flexible. Today, leadership talks a lot about adaptability and flexibility. But I always smile and I say I suffered from what we call as a new girl syndrome. So everywhere I went, I was a new girl, and I worked very hard to fit in. Being academically gifted, it gives you an opportunity. I always believe that in school, if you are either academically gifted or athletically inclined, you somehow fit in so much better because it gets you visibility without trying. So I was academically gifted, I excelled, and somehow that helped me gain visibility and fit in. But having said that, fitting in socially was a big challenge, and I can completely empathize with the students, who move around a lot. And at that stage, it is very difficult. But when you look back, you have learned a huge life skill, which is going to help you get along with people from all walks of life. So, accent, conversations, small talk, you pick up very quickly what really makes people in that group tick, and you learn a lot, which later on helps you, even with food choices or, weather or entertainment. And so I think that was a very big learning when I look back. My dad was a working professional. Later on, he was a senior professional with large multinational companies. I come from a home of two daughters, and I was very blessed that my dad was a feminist in those days, and he strongly believed that women should have equal opportunities and you have to live out your dream. So many times he would say, "Don't give me the excuse that you are a girl and can't achieve it. You can and you should." So I think that was a very big learning. My mom, of course, was a homemaker, and we moved cities. So I learned how to adapt and be flexible in a social setting from her as well. Very quickly, she would make friends with neighbors, with people from the same area, or people from the same business as my dad. So that was a big learning from her. And she helped us settle in socially as well. She continues to be my biggest cheerleader. She was always there to support me in school activities, in social activities, and taught me about what it means to be a woman who can lead a balanced life. So how to professionally and personally balance your life. She really believed in that. And that really helped me in my early years. Later, of course, my husband supported me, and he pushed me to achieve my goals. So in that way, yes, I have had strong cheerleaders, and I'm very lucky. Now, moving cities, India was not so well integrated as it is today. In fact, the world wasn't. There was no internet. Telecommunication was very basic. So when you move from a small town in MP to a big city like Delhi, Then you move to South India, which is very disconnected. So Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad were very disconnected. And then you move to a very cool place like Mumbai. So, as a child, I changed about 8 schools in so many different cities. And I feel the ability to actually get along with people, the ability to understand cultural connotations, finer nuances in conversation, how to actually come up with icebreakers and put people at ease. Because see, they had school children can are not very inclusive. They have their group set, they have their friends set. Even how to speak to somebody in a school bus or a bus stop initially can be a big challenge. So that did help me step out and connect with people, understand what makes them tick, what is the common thread in this culture, in this conversation, in this setting. And getting along with new teachers, establishing yourself, your reputation, all of that, I would say, in the first 16 years of my life helped me today in my career, because my work involves talking to people, putting them at ease, understanding. A lot of coaching is about understanding what makes people tick, their challenges, their strengths, their weaknesses. So yes, my early life did prepare me for my career. And I did also realize that I could get along with a lot of people. And people also felt a connect with me because I took genuine interest in meaningful conversations with people, and had good listening skills and observation skills, because that was needed to fit in. And all of that, I think, when I look back, yes, definitely, I kept polishing over the years unknowingly. And I think it has helped me in my current role or current choice of profession. I think many experiences in your life shape you. So when I joined college, I had a couple of teachers who I felt impacted my life positively, and that impact lasts till today. When you study hotel management, it's a very service oriented industry, and they focused on the importance of professionalism, of delivering to standards, of good listening skills, of being service oriented, which is very important in the services industry. And of course, the critical role of humility. These skills have helped me in all my interactions with, whether it was difficult conversations with participants, difficult conversations with leaders that I've coached, or even in terms of managing the egos of successful business leaders that I interact with. In fact, I always feel that every 18-year-old should join the army for 6 months, because they will learn fitness, and they should also join the service industry, hospitality industry for 6 months, because they will learn what it means to be professional, and also what it means to what is the role of humility in your life. So people walk in with a lot of entitlement, a sense of entitlement, and managing them and their egos is the biggest learning for a young professional. So I think educational curriculum should make provisions for these two. I started with the hospitality industry, and I moved to the US with my husband. He took up a job there. There I realized that the importance of soft skills in your corporate career, whether it was conversations or the way people were interacting. In fact, there were a lot of even advertisements in the newspapers. That was like mid 90s, where they were coaching and they were certifying trainers. So that really intrigued me, that what is the importance of soft skills? Because going from a country like India, there's a lot of focus on technical skills and intellectual skills. Our academic curriculum is totally focused on getting marks and getting admissions based on marks. We really don't teach too many soft skills. Things are changing, but not fast enough. But at that time, when I was in school and college, there was not much focus on communication or behavior or appearance as to make you successful and to get along in the workplace. However, there was a lot of conversation in the US about it. So when I moved back in 1997, I felt that I should start my entrepreneurial journey at that time of training and coaching people on what are the soft skills needed for business success. India was a very different place at that time. All the liberalization reforms which started in 1991 were not bearing fruit at this time. So it was patchy. There were some multinationals, a few of them in a small way. Indian companies also were growing but struggling with growth. So I remember meeting a lot of CEOs and HR heads in the late 90s and asking them if they wanted to train their senior leaders on some of these soft skills. And they would always say, yes, Miss Mehra, of course, we would love to. But do you want us to pay you for it? So clearly, they felt this was a wonderful platform for Miss Mehra to learn and polish her skills. But something changed in 2002, 2003. I think India finally arrived on the world stage. It took a decade, but we were definitely there. So Indian companies became very large. Their M&A teams were traveling overseas. They were buying out a lot of firms at that time and setting up joint ventures. So their teams have to be trained on what is cross-border communication, how to interact with people, how to entertain in business, what is the expected attire, the communication styles of people interacting, their negotiation styles, their decision-making strategies. So a lot of work on the cross-cultural side. Of course, multinational companies also realized the importance of the Indian market and started investing heavily in talent in India and started growing. So due to matrix reporting, they had bosses sitting in different parts of the world. So Indians also needed to learn how to communicate, negotiate, interact, and connect with people sitting in different parts of the world. So I would say 2003 has been the turning point in this journey, and never needed to look back after that. And 2004, I went for a certification to Portland, to Maine in Portland, and I met my guru, Dorothea Johnson, there. She really showed me what a consultant in this industry should look, behave, and communicate like. So that was a wonderful role model to have. When I came back, I realized that, while this was a wonderful journey for the corporate world, but what about people, women especially, who could not afford to learn these skills? So in 2007, I co-founded an NGO called Katalyst, where we work with women in STEM, women in tech, girls in engineering colleges, girls who come from humble backgrounds and definitely can learn these skills, which is going to help them in their journey as women leaders in the corporate workplaces, and of course, help us bridge the gender gap. 2012 is a very important year in my life. I authored my first business bestseller, and 2016 is another important year when Katalyst impacted more than 1,000 lives. 2019, I founded Go Barefoot, a networking platform for professionals in the development sector that was for knowledge sharing, interacting, getting jobs, looking for internships. And that was something that I felt a mobile app would help people in this journey, especially crossover and young professionals. 2020, I authored my second bestseller on executive presence. It was India's first research on this topic and a model-based research called the Poise Formula of Leadership. And I was lucky HarperCollins published it, and it became a bestseller on pre-sales number on Amazon. And 2021, I reached the landmark of having coached 1,000 CXOs across Asia. And yes, so that has been the journey so far. It's interesting that I feel that life is about learning, unlearning, and relearning. And people come into your life, they talk to you about so many different things. In fact, I feel I learn on a daily basis. And my work is such that while I claim to coach people, but they tell me so much about their businesses, about their interpersonal relationships, about how people react in situations. So I would say it's a daily learning. But having said that, yes, my parents for sure, my husband for his support. I would also like to say that my father-in-law was another feminist. He really believed that women should go out and achieve their dreams. And he was a role model for executive presence, having led one of the largest computer makers globally. And also, I feel that on a daily basis, even participants, I've learned so much from my interactions with the Catalyst girls, the challenges, the barriers to women leadership, to for a girl to go out and learn or even join an engineering college, and what keeps her there and what can potentially pull her out from there, the societal biases and the prejudices, the workplace biases, all of that. So I would say life is a journey. I always tell people that it is a marathon, it's not a 100-meter dash. You just keep moving. Sometimes if you see a marathoner, at times you see they are clipping away and running so fast. At other times, you're just walking. So just keep, as long as you're moving forward and moving in the right direction, just keep moving and don't worry about the pace. So a lot of learning, unlearning. I mean, even in the last 2 years of the pandemic, shifting from an in-person business to a virtual business, training and coaching, a CEO sitting in Japan, another one in South Africa, multiple people in California, has been a big learning. Shifting the trainings and the mentorship of Catalyst to an online or a virtual world where it was completely an in-person world was another big learning. So I think, yes, you continuously keep learning, and you can learn from everybody. So I believe that everybody can teach you. In fact, sometimes I feel a 4-year-old can teach you more about life than anybody else. So yes, keep an open mind and have meaningful conversations and enjoy every interaction. To me, success is contentment. If you can sleep peacefully at night and feel good about a work day, it's good. If you've had good conversations with people and you feel you've impacted somebody's life positively, if you have learned something new, that is success. So I think it's a lot more basic, and I feel that it's not that aha moment or something wow, but I think it's is living one meaningful day at a time, and living with gratitude and contentment. Failure is about, I would say, it's more like a challenge, and it is a learning. Yes, it does pull you down initially. I'd be lying if I glorified it and said I have all the skills needed to handle failure. Many times you do get pulled down. So multiple challenges, but all of us have faced either at a personal level or a health challenge or a loved one who's gone through trauma which directly impacts you, or workplace related. But something, I always look at it and say that yes, you need a strong spiritual quotient. And the way I look at it is, this too shall pass. So handle it, move on. It is tough, I agree, but you definitely need the support of your loved ones. My one advice to everybody, whether personal or professional life, is that you need a core team. People who are supporting, who are your allies, who are your well-wishers. Find them, invest in them, prioritize them in your life, and they will be there for you when you need them, because you need support at various stages in your life. Things happen, but if you have support, emotional, physical, sometimes even financial, whatever the need is at that time, but these are the allies who are going to help. So create a core team, and at work also create your core team, because ultimately you will notice that it's the same 20, 25 people who have supported you even in your professional journey. They could be your bosses, ex-bosses, HR, clients, vendors, team members, but it's the same people who keep supporting you. So make a core group, thank them, and invest in them, and be there for them, and they'll be there for you. I faced challenges because I was too young. People felt that why would they learn from me, and what value could I add? So I had to initially, gain the confidence of my clients, And I worked very hard with that. So I took my work very seriously. Initially I had done a lot of work which was free or heavily discounted just to build that credibility. And once I did that, they some of my people who known me for the last 20 years have done work with me. So I think that was a bigger challenge. One, the fact that I was too young. Secondly, I was teaching a skill that they just couldn't understand the importance of. But once they saw the change and the impact, then I never really had to sell. So that created a bit of a pull factor, which helped me. And similarly with Katalyst, I would say as well. Initially, it was very difficult fundraising. Of course, it's professionally run, but you interact with the team. But once the girls were placed in the corporate world, and companies saw that they had a competitive edge in the way they were trained and the way they handled themselves, they definitely felt that they would invest in this program. So that worked as well. The best way to do business, to interact with people, to get more funding or to get more clients, whether corporate or for not-for-profit world, I feel is doing a good job, doing an honest job, taking ownership for what you have delivered, and people will definitely support you and keep coming back. We work with girls, as I mentioned, from humble backgrounds, women who come, who are a part of an engineering college, and we support them with two interventions. So, one is, of course, we have a 600-hour proprietary curriculum, which runs parallelly with the engineering college. And we train them on a lot of soft skills. So, could be English language, could be grammar, could be accent, could be interviewing, general knowledge, and a lot of skills which will help them in enhancing their presence. Second, of course, we have a corporate. We provide them with a corporate mentor from year 1 to year 4 of engineering. These are professionals who have at least 10 years of work experience and work in large corporations. So they are instrumental in hand holding, helping them in conversations, helping them in articulating the way they express themselves. So they have 2 to 3 hours of mentorship every month with these mentors who help them in their journey, even job selection or how to interview. So that is what we really do. And the impact, when we measured, and we had a full study to measure the impact, very happy to share that our girls have either at the bare minimum doubled their family income, and some have even taken it to 5 times the family income. Our first batch is currently in leadership positions. So all those who graduated in 2010 have now at least 12 years of work experience and are in senior leadership positions in both Indian and multinational companies. Some of them have even joined, a couple are in IRS and IAS officers. But finally, I would say that the empowerment has enabled them to make smart decisions and choices in both their personal and professional life. So if you ask me what is the impact, the education combined with the self-belief and the confidence that the program gave them have given them the power to make decisions, whether it is work-related, marriage, children, switching careers, and yes, I'm vegetarian, first of all, by choice. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I don't consume, as far as I can help it, anything from a bottle or a packet. So I am very focused on cooking and consuming, but not eating anything which is pre-cooked or from a bottle. I'm very conscious about wastage. While I can't claim zero wastage, but I'm very particular about the food, the cleaning agents, the beauty products that they come into my home. Where do they come from? What chemicals are in them? And, how have the people who have produced them been compensated? I'm very passionate about water consumption and saving water. So I started a water audit in my office building, in my residential towers, and we were very happy to see that we could save so much water because of leakage and because of the fact that people were not conscious about it. So I do believe that water is a very precious resource and should be definitely, everybody should do their bit for the planet. And finally, I avoid fast fashion. I think it's bad for the planet. And I really believe in supporting local brands. So my clothing, my gifting, packaging, all come from local brands. And I believe in supporting them, the artisans, the textiles of India, and the artists who produce them. Very, first of all, I believe that you need patience. When you are young, you are impatient. But as you grow older, you realize that there is no shortcut to anything. And there are no quick solutions. And things which are quick solutions possibly may not be very smart or ethical. So have the patience. Secondly, I do believe that, as I said earlier, that life is a marathon, not a 100-meter dash. So pace yourself out. Don't face burnout. It's a long journey. And as long as you're moving and moving forward, it's fine. And finally, I believe that we should focus on our daily conversations with people, starting from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Because I do believe that what you feed yourself, input and output, is dependent on that. So your thoughts, your energy, your diseases, your relationships, your prosperity is all linked to the kind of conversations that you have. So focus on what you feed yourself, because that is very important. I would tell her, first of all, go and find a mentor. You can't do it on your own, all alone. So invest in mentors. Secondly, I would tell her, and this is something I learned later in life, that you also have to be an ally. You have to support other women in their journey and hold their hand, give some time if you have to, and help them in their journey. And finally, I would say that you can't do this all alone. So don't hesitate to ask for help. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I also feel that it takes a village to create a woman leader. So you need all the support that you can. And finally, please thank all the people who have supported you. It could be a caretaker, it could be a nanny, a parent, a neighbor, everybody. And I don't think we thank adequately. So I started this journey late, but if I had to go back, I would start saying a lot more thank yous a lot earlier. So that is, if I had to relive, I would say I would like to, go back to the time when my children were I have two daughters, and they're all grown up and gone. And I feel that time flies. In my 30s, I was just very busy with my work and my kids and my home and everything. If I had to go back, I would say I would go back to the years when my children were small, and I would take it a little slower and enjoy and savor every moment. I did enjoy a lot, but I think I'm greedy and I would like to enjoy a lot more. If I had to undo a few things, I would say that when you are young, you tend to say and do things which are brash, because of the fact that you have the energy and your, uh, body allows you to be but as you grow older, you realize with wisdom that words can hurt a lot. So some of the words that I said as a young person, I would definitely like to take them back. If I could travel in time and say sorry and take it back. But time doesn't wait. So I think you need to, make amends. Of course, keeping yourself physically fit is important, because that's clinically needed if you want energy. Eating healthy and eating right is also important, but that's the biological part of it. But I do, one gets motivated because you feel that there's so much more to do, and your time on this planet is limited. And as you grow older, you realize the importance of that, and the fact that time is finite. And also, I think, you build awareness. When you grow older, your conversations help you realize that what you're doing is literally a drop in the ocean, and there is so much more to be done. And I think waking up in the morning and realizing every morning that there's so much more to be done, and yet it is a drop in the ocean, keeps you very sane, but keeps you very motivated as well. So, yeah, that Catalyst should very quickly impact 10,000 lives. That Catalyst should go global, because we felt that this was an India problem when we started. But we have realized that even many of the developed countries and developing countries have the same problems, but in different formats. So we need to rework, but the problems are there, and we could definitely take it global. Uh, I would definitely like to write a book on women leadership, and talk to women across sectors, and the challenges and executive presence for women leaders. So that's another thing. And yes, so lots to keep, lots to do, lots to achieve still. Reading, uh, talking to my friends and going for coffees, watching movies, but I like to watch feel good movies. So I I don't watch very realistic films, because I want to I like movies which de-stress and make you believe that there's a lot of love and hope and goodness in the world. So I like to watch feel good movies. I do yoga. I've started meditation, and I'm a family person. I'm quiet. I have a set of friends that I like to interact with, um, travel a bit, and yes, and recharge. Oh, my bucket list is very long. I want to travel a lot. So I want to see the Scandinavian nations. I want to do bungee jumping in New Zealand. I also want to see the penguins. And so my travel bucket list is long, and, I want to very quickly complete that in the next decade while I can. I also want to do the Hindu Char Dham, so that's a part of my bucket list. And yeah, I want to I want to be with my friends, be with my children, travel, and yeah, experience more life. I think the pandemic taught us, even further helped us understand that life is very short, and sudden things can happen which can put you indoors for 2 years. So yes, and I want to spend. I've understood the importance of parents and in-laws, and I want to spend time with the aging parents, and be there for them. So I think it helped me understand, and I'm sure it helped all of us understand the importance of so many things that we took for granted, and how finite life is, and how it's a fixed time window. Yes, please find an ally, and please be an ally. Help others achieve their goals, and they will help you achieve yours. And I would love to mentor anybody who's interested. And please write to me. And I support and mentor a lot of young women, and would like to continue doing so. So I support you. It's a tough journey. It's you're changing so many societal prejudices and biases. It's not an easy journey, but you're making it easier for the generations to come. So keep going, don't lose heart. Finally, be kind to yourself. I think sometimes we live with too much guilt, and I feel many times women are their worst critics. So love yourself, be kind to yourself, and just keep moving. The pace doesn't matter.